Hey everybody, Hellgrex here, and welcome to another episode of Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere. We need an echo thing going. Inner Sphere, sphere. Maybe that would work. Alright, today we're going to be talking about that 75-ton Inner Sphere mech, the Penetrator. Kind of like this mech, obviously. Now the Penetrator is, like I said, 75-ton Inner Sphere. That is a 464, so we got a 75-tonner with jump jets. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Makes it kind of handy in a city fight. Well, it's another one. Hey, it's a Inner Sphere mech that decided not to put XL engines on it. Hey, 2 thumbs up. Hey, we're off to a great start. And it has jump jets. Hey, even more better. Yeah. And it has 12 double heat sinks, so it can dissipate 24. Not bad. It has 208 points of armor, which is, I think, let's see, it's what, 231 or something like that is maximum, I think, on the 75 ton. So, if you put another ton of armor on this thing, and it's going to look really good. Now, alright, so, it does have some interesting weapons here. We have an ER large laser in each arm. Right, so you see those big long poles sticking out the side there. That's the large lasers, ER types. Not bad. Not the longest range weapons for the Inner Sphere. They're not the hardest hitting, but you know they're pretty reliable. Now here's the interesting thing. It has 3 medium pulse lasers in each torso, right and left. So there you go. So you got 6 medium pulse lasers. So if this thing does jump behind you, hey, you're going to get some pulse lasers. And it's pretty good for stripping off armor, but it comes at a cost, and you know what that cost is heat. So, yeah, well, you know, can't have everything, I guess. And, well, it's like you're looking at 4 points on heat there, so 6, that's 24. And if you do jump, that's 28. And you can dissipate 24. So you're going up 4, so, hey, you can do that for a turn and not worry about the heat causing you any problems. Alright, so there's a plus. Alright. Now, the only problem is short range. I'm not a big fan of Inner Sphere pulse lasers just from the fact that you're putting out 2 tons for something that only shoots 6. When you can have 1 ton and get a medium laser that shoots 9. Or eventually you can get the ER medium laser and shoots 12 when that comes available. But that comes at more heat. Well, now the other thing we have here in the center torso on a little bitty turret-like thing is a anti-missile system in center torso with a ton of ammo. Yeah, well, that can be handy if somebody likes to throw a lot of missiles at you. And then we have jump jets, right and left leg, 2 jump jets each. Alright. Now, what are my thoughts on the Penetrator? Not a bad mech. For a Inner Sphere design that comes out in 3055, at least they seem to do some thinking with this one. Not overly great. It's not screaming, hey, I must go out there and purchase it type mech, but it is one of those mechs that I do like. I've played with it before. It works. It's kind of a plugger type. It's not really one that's going to really excite you. You know, say, hey, this thing is just a beast. No, it's not a beast. It's not suck either. All right. So it's kind of like right in between. It gets the job done type mech. Now, however, like to use this thing, like I said earlier, it's like it does have jump jets, so it is capable of getting around, moving around terrain, jumping over, getting into terrain, jumping on top of buildings, leaping buildings with a single bound type of deal. And if you get into city fight, you know, if you got some lower buildings blocking line of sight, this thing can jump over top of something into another block, or it can jump on top of the building, or jump in behind somebody. It's like you're running down the street and somebody's there and he's like shh, right behind him and give him the medium pulse lasers and hopefully get a bunch of 7s and core them out type of deal. Now, it's also works pretty good. I've used it. You know, it's like you get a scout come rolling by that's moving pretty good speed, and he's like, well, you're close enough for the pulse lasers. I'm going to use those on you instead of the ER large lasers. Now, obviously, the ER large lasers shoot out to 19, which isn't all that bad, not that great. To be honest with you, if an ER large laser and a ER PPC are my two preferred type of weapons if I'm going to use any type of energy weapons early in the era where you get the ER weapons if you decide to go that route. Now later on you're able to get, you know, other sword type weapons, but you know, to me it's like bang for your buck. It seems to work good when it comes to the ER large laser. So I'm not saying, hey, it's like maybe I should have a couple of ER PPCs on board. Hey, if you wanted to figure out how to scrape around and get 4 more tons, and you can easily do it on this mech, yeah, you could throw a couple ER PPCs on it. You know, they don't have to worry about the minimum range, and they do 10 points, and they shoot a lot farther than the ER larges. But you know, you're going to have to pull the tonnage from someplace. And hopefully, when you look at this mech, you're not one of those people that, I'm going to strip off all my armor to get 4 more tons. And I'm like, oh my God, no. Don't do that. Because stripping the armor off just means that your juicy innards are going to be sliced and diced and made julienne fries out of real quick. All right? No, don't do that. You want to keep your mech around at least a little bit longer. You can do it at the expense of something else. And to me, there's several systems on board that I'm more than willing to get rid of to make that happen, if you wanted to go down that route. And that's like, you look at carrying around 6 medium pulse lasers, that you're wrapping up 12 tons right there. You could drop them down to medium lasers, and that would free up 6 tons. And you could upgrade this thing to 2 ER PPCs and maybe a couple, and then throw the rest into heat sinks. All right, you go that route. And you could also knock off the anti-missile system if you wanted to. You know, you're looking at what, ton and a half there. So you have plenty of weapons that you could scrape off and still keep the firepower pretty much the same and increase it in some other ways. All right, get better distance, more armor. All right, you know, there's all those wonderful things you can do, and we will discuss that in a second, even greater depth. Now let's just look at the, where is it? There it is. There are some variants with this mech. You know, I wasn't thinking at the time that there was, but yeah, there actually is. There's a few. All right, then we have the 4F, which is supposed to be a fire support mech. Sacrifices 2 medium pulse lasers and the ER large lasers, and frees up enough ton for 2 LRM-10 launchers with Artemis for added accuracy. That's a pregnant pause going, what the? No, not a fan of that at all. If I'm going to run around with something that is going to be a fire support mech, I'm going to take an archer. Sorry. It's like the archer, I'd rather have an archer do the job, or a catapult. And it's like, no, I'd rather have this penetrator doing its job of going in there and getting closer and ripping people apart with, you know, all of its weapon systems. Leave the fire support to a mech that actually was designed to be a fire support mech. Yeah, okay. That's my thought on the whole thing. Not a fan. It's like, if you're going to take off 2 large lasers, ER large lasers, and replace them with 2 LRM-10s that you're most likely going to do 6 points of damage with, that, and you're losing the medium pulse lasers and to boot, nah, I don't think so. Not a fan of that one at all. Alright, then we got the 6M, the 6 mic. The 6M variant of the Penetrator looks to alleviate the heat buildup by removing 2 of the medium pulse lasers and replacing them with 5 double heat sinks. Removing 2 medium pulse lasers and replaced with 5 double heat sinks. The math doesn't add up there. Something's wrong. You would think taking 2 medium pulse lasers, that's 4. That would be 4 double heat sinks, not 5. I think they made a mistake there. I could be wrong, but hey, that's like I did pretty good in math. So now you're looking at something that has 16 double heat sinks. Okay, 16. You can dissipate 32. Yeah, all right. You do 24. That leaves you 8 to play with. I guess you could toss in a couple medium pulse lasers up a little closer. So I guess if you're in that one spot where you're at 6 and you're like, well, do I want to fire the 2 ER larges and 2 medium pulse lasers, or just give them all the medium pulse lasers? And I'm scratching my head there. Maybe drop, well, I would probably have dropped the 2 medium pulse lasers and make them medium lasers, and then just added an extra heat sink and then more armor. Hey, there's an option. And then we got the 6S. The simple modification of the Penetrator. The 6S removes 1.5 tons. And here we go again. Removes 1.5 tons of armor. Frees up enough weight for a Guardian ECM on the mech. For better electronic warfare. Okay, here we go again. I'm never a fan of taking armor off something to put something on. You know, I'd rather look at my weapon loadout and figure out how to make that work, or the heat sinks to work, so I can put the ECM on. That's, hey, like I said before with the 6M, hey, drop 2 of your medium pulse lasers, make them medium lasers, and take the 2 tons, and then, whoa, looky there, you can have the ECM and a 1/2 ton more armor. Whoa, shocker. There we go. But, you know, that's just how I think. Alright, then we got the 6T. The Penetrator is the 6T variant of the Penetrator is a modification that replaces 6 medium pulse lasers with 6 ER medium lasers, adds a advanced target computer. Okay, and then we have that's 2 ER medium lasers for more accuracy. That makes the ER medium lasers, you know, obviously we're looking at you're shooting a little bit farther range with the ER medium lasers, and then you got a target computer to boot. Okay, and it has 2 more double heat sinks. All right, so now you're looking at 14 double heat sinks. Right there, you're dissipating 28, and then you have 6. Well, let's see, 6 times 5 is 30, and if you walk or run, then you're going at 4. So okay, that can work for 1 turn. Then you got to turn off some of those medium lasers to cool off, because that's how I look at it. Is I rather cool my mech off. I don't have a problem going up to 4, but beyond that, unless I have triple strength armor, and then I'm looking for that sweet 9. But that's the only time I'm willing to heat my mech up, because if I can get the triple strength going off, and then I can get up close to you and go, hello, let's see, how about my little friendly axe take your head off, you know, type of deal. I'm good for that. That's the whole technique is a delivery system right there. I'm willing to deal with that. Alright, then we have the 7 Delta. Alright, here we go. This one uses Indosteel that frees up the weight of the snub nose PPCs and actuator enhancement systems instead of 2 ER large lasers, and the armor has been replaced with reflective armor. Well, it does have this extra crit space for such things, so that is possible. I don't have a problem with the Indosteel. That's pretty decent, because right there you're making a major tonnage, you know, savings right there. So yeah, you're saving 3.5 tons. That can 3.5 tons is the difference between upgrading, you know, playing around with your what do you call it, weapons a little bit and adding some endo steel. Yeah, you could upgrade to 2 ERPPCs and thinking about heat sinks too. So yeah, but I've never overly been a fan of reflective armor, but you know, that's farther down the road, you know, for newer tech systems. So it's like your mileage may vary. It's like it may be one of those things like, hey, every time I ever use reflective armor, it works great. You know, it's like I will not leave home without it type of deal. So it's like, well, if it works for you and you make it and you've had great success with it, fine. Yeah, I'm not telling you not to do it. All right, now let's just go back to look at what did I do with it? There it is. Now we have the 4D. What would I do with it just right out the gate? You know, we've kind of discussed this a little bit. The first thing to do is, all right, you're going to keep the ER large lasers, fine, all right, no, not a problem. They don't have the range of the ER PPCs, but you know, if you want to have this tonnage savings between the two of them, I have no problem with that. Hey, it makes logical sense to me. Now, if I took off 2 of the medium pulse lasers and replaced them with medium lasers each, so you go from a pulse laser to a medium laser, all right, you saved up 2 tons, right? All right, so you could do is take that 2 tons and throw on a Guardian ECM. Hey, that's only 1.5 tons. So you got what left? 0.5 ton. So you could throw that into more armor, so that's 8 more points, so you'd be running around 216. Hey, not bad. Now, if by chance you want to do a field upgrade package and you buy it where you can get ferrofibrous armor to replace your standard armor with ferrofibrous armor, you could go with the standard, what was it, let's say we're sitting at 13.5 tons and you throw ferrofibrous on it. That will kick you up to 224. And so, hey, you're getting a bit more armor out of the deal. All right, so you're looking at, what, 16 more? You know, that's not bad, you know, for just throwing ferrofibrous armor on. So now you got a mech with, oh, did I say 13 double heat sinks on board here? Yeah, 13 double heat sinks. Add another heat sink too. So now you got 13 doubles, so you can dissipate 26. Hey, you can fire both ER large lasers and run without having a problem with heat. Wow, that's just handy dandy amazing. And what's the other thing you could do? Hey, you can fire your medium, you can jump behind somebody or jump near them, get in behind somebody or near in a flank or something, and then fire your 4 medium pulse lasers and your 2 medium lasers and add your heat that you created from your jump jets, and lo and behold, you're still cool. You're still running at 26. All right. So that's a well-balanced mech when it comes to weapon systems and heat, just by changing out 2 of your weapons from pulse lasers to medium lasers. And you still a 464, 13 double heat sinks, and a good set of weapons. And now you're running around with ECM. Hey, what's not to love? Now, if you're one of those individuals that rather not have the anti-missile system, yeah, you could go with the route of just dropping the anti-missile system and replacing it with the ECM. So right there is a 1-for-1 tonnage swap. And if you did the same build technique where you dropped 2 pulse lasers and replaced them with the medium lasers, well, you could max out your armor then and also have 13 heat sinks. So you're still working good. So there's a couple options you can go with the Penetrator to make it a pretty decent mech. Now, like I said, this is one of those mechs where its range isn't all that great. So when you're closing, if you're facing off against clan and say in some type of border dispute, yeah, you're going to be having problems in that area. Just the fact that, you know, with the ER medium or ER large lasers don't have quite the range, you're going to be facing off against some clan mechs. So then you got to figure out what to do, and that's cover and concealment. How many times we have to harp on that one? Stay behind terrain. Stay in terrain. You know, look at your avenues of approach. You know, you just look at it and go, hey, okay, I can make it from here to there. Okay, I can get from those woods to these woods, get behind that hill, get some partial cover or something of that nature, just to put something between me and the enemy. And that's what's important, is to mitigate the amount of damage you're taking while you can dish it out the best you can. Now, if you're not facing clan, and you're probably going to be facing equipment that's pretty on par with what this mech has, well, still use the same kind of techniques, but you may not have to worry about the amount of damage coming down range at you as if you face the clans. And then you still got to get in close with those weapon systems you have on board on the Penetrator here. And then go from there. But that is the Penetrator in a nutshell. It's not a bad mech. I don't mind it. It seems to work for me whenever I've used it. And gets the job done. It's not, like I said, one that screams, hey, I'm the best in the world, but it's not the worst either. It could use a little bit of tweaking to make it, you know, what works best for me. But your mileage may vary. So, yeah, just something to think about. Alright, hope you guys liked this one. Like and subscribe. Share with your friends. And we will see you in the next one. Hellcrex out.